Lions Invitational 15. Your referee is Mr. Ion van Sale. Your assistant referees Cameron Reed and Karabo Mvubu. So then, from Stellenbosch, come running up, please give them...
Welcome to the second game of the first day of the St. John's College Rugby Festival. It's a big game coming up here. It's Porous Gymnasium from Stellenbosch in the Western Cape taking on the Lions Invitational squad. It's an important game for Porous. They have a lot of players still on the side from last year in that team. They finished 6th in the country, and on top of that they've got a lot of under 16 players who are coming through into the squad, and that squad only lost 1 or 2 games last year, finishing 2nd in the under 16 ranks. With me in the commentary box today is Johan Smith. Johan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Justin. Great being here with you on the first day of the St. John's Easter Festival, and what an atmosphere. Sort of a carnival atmosphere here at St. John's College, and the Lions, the invitational side from Joburg, about to take on the powerhouse from Stellenbosch in Porous Gymnasium. Interestingly enough, just to let the viewers know, the Lions is an invitational side made up out of co-ed schools here in Johannesburg, and it's players that the Lions Union is actually looking to develop and get into the under-19 squads, so it should be fun watching them.
Brendan Swats with a high-hanging kick, and early nerves from Porous, and it's a great opportunity for the Lions Invitational side to get on the board here as they spread the ball wide, and that's the number 12, Mzamba, taking it up. What can this Lions side show us today? It doesn't get any bigger than this for them. Porous, a side with great prospects this year.
See the Lions spreading the ball to the right-hand side, and a great break by number 14, Llewellyn Ellis, getting them onto the front foot, and quick ball for the Lions here as they have the Porous side under pressure early in the game. Spreading it to the left once again, same side rugby by the Lions. And a great start for the Lions as Porous transgressed by going offside, and early pressure here on the Porous side, Justin.
Indeed, and it's a positive start as well. You just think Porous, it's only their 2nd game of the year. They did beat Swartland a few weeks ago, 101-0, but this contest here, this weekend, it's going to be a lot tougher than that. And with so much prospect, they really need to step up Porous here today. It'll be
We had a chat yesterday at the North-South tournament as well, Justin, about the different approaches of the sides. Looks like this year a lot of the big sides have decided not to play too much rugby and get on the Easter festivals. Most of the sides still got the World Schools tournament coming up, also the Villetlawe tournament end of April. So maybe Porous as well, just a little bit undercooked, and they'll need to find their rhythm pretty quickly in this match.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the Lions are actually doing here. And an early score for them will really boost their confidence. And they're going to have a shot at goal. Porous as well, they've got plenty of talent in this side. They've got 3 players in the squad today who made the Elite Player Development Squad for South Africa a week or so ago. So massive expectation.
So we see Keegan van Skalkwijk here lining up the kick for the Lions. It's about 10 meters in from the right-hand touchline. And let's see what he does with this one to give his side an early lead against the mighty Porous from Stellenbosch. Van Skalkwijk coming forward, striking it nicely. Oh, hitting the upright, and then great following up there. And a try scored by the Lions. Awesome start. Great following up. We'd like to see the number there. And that's a great example of teamwork and really a big work ethic. And we'd just like to get a number of the try scorer there. Van Skalkwijk hitting the upright. And then on the rebound, the Lions going over.
It's that man, not Yahweh. And what a dream start for the left winger. Never in his wildest of dreams would he believe that he would score the opening try for his side against Porous after 3 minutes. Fantastic start. And boy, we have a game on our hands here. As Van Skalkwijk, well, he won't mind now that he missed that kick. Perfect results.
Yeah, and that's just a great example of making sure that you follow up on the kick. A lot of times we see the guys getting a bit lazy on the field and not following up, but a great example of why you must do that. As for Skalkwyk at the extras, and pretty surprisingly, the invitational side, the Lions, leading Porous by 7 points to 0.
So after 4 minutes of play, it's 7-0 to the young man. To the young men in the colours of the Lions.
Number 15, Cade Croy, will be kicking off. He was in the under-16 side last year. And also in the Grand Como Western Province team in 2017. Beautiful kickoff there. And the Lions have it back. It's a tough one for them to take, but it's actually a turnover. And there's Mikado de Prier gaining some valuable meters. Buerda. And it's a knock on there. So, Johan, the Lions will be loving this. Coach Timmy Goodwin, well, he couldn't ask for a better start, to be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure. The Lions are looking good, and Porous just looking a little bit rusty. Gaining back the possession off the kickoff and then actually just wasting it a little bit. Interesting to see quite a lot of faces from last year in the side as well. And will be interesting. Brendon Fainter as well in the number 13 jersey, back from last year. Obviously the son of former Springbok and current coach Brendon Fainter. And I know Brendon also had a big hand in the Porous preparations last year. And let's see what Brendon Fainter comes up with today.
And just also watch out for the right wing from Porous, Remy Engelbrecht, their top try scorer in 2017. He crossed the line 10 times, and for those of you who do remember, he scored that fascinating try against Holtmekaar at this festival last year, and that gave themselves the victory. They'll be dying, Porous, to get their hands on the ball, and it's a free kick to the Lions, and they waste no time through Kowera. Look at him have a go. They are not backing down here, and there's numbers either side of the ruck, and it's the big man, Innocent and Kazi. Watch out for him. And he pops it to his hooker, Sean Gobe. And they're advancing here, the Lions.
Great continuity shown here by the Lions. Pretty impressive for an invitational side as for Skalkwyk spreads it. Beautiful inside ball. Lions carrying it up strongly, gaining momentum, and it's nearly on the halfway line. So another carry is that by the hooker Gobi. As Porous makes a turnover. Beautiful work by Porous on the ground. You see scrum off Andre Buerta. Great carry on by Krovela. Buerta once more. Porous now spreading the ball and looking dangerous. On the outside, it's Croy with the inside ball to Remy Engelbrecht. And Porous looking really dangerous with ball in hand.
They're getting it going here. Kotsia, there's an overlap. Finds Tion Pretorius. Look at him go. Already showing good prospect for the future. Wool Eater. And there, back to the inside centre in Ruben Labiskachny. Great play by the number 12. And that was good hands there. Mikado de Prier. Can he finish? Or will the choke tackle here succeed for the Lions? Tolling times.
Oh, absolutely awesome defense there on the line by the Lions. Originally the first line of defense, very ragged, but then some great scrambling defense, and very involved in that one was the little scrum half as well. Beautiful work from him to make sure that Mikado de Prier could not get that ball down.
So Porous, from this far out, with such a dangerous back line and a phenomenal forward pack, you'd expect them to cash in. Buerda at scrum half, and just watch out also for Andre Smith, also grade 11, and he might peel at the back.
The other side of Porous, full of grade 11s this year. Had a very, very good under-16 side in 2017. Lost only their very large match of the season against Great College from Bloemfontein. And they were incredible as under-14 and under-15 side as well. So big things expected from them. As we see a tight head by the Lions. Awesome work. Big scrum though by Porous. And it's under big pressure that Van Skalkwyk makes a clearance. And good kick at that, but Croy fields it for Porous.
Look at the step from Croy.
Great side step there by Croy. As we see Buerta now getting it out. So that man Reme Engelbrecht and Mikado de Priya with another carry.
So Buerta's at the base and he needs quick ball. And he fires it away to a prop forward, and that's a great carry by the prop. Buerta goes right. Wool Eater finds Ruben Labuskachny. Can he finish? Yes, he can, sir. Porous, great response, Johan.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant finish there by Labuskachny. In the right-hand corner, and that was vintage Porous stuff. They had the possession in a very dangerous position and used their back line after a great snipe by Croy, setting it up. Another carry by Mikado de Priya has been heavily involved thus far in the game. The grade 11 lock forward of Porous, and beautiful rugby. And in the right-hand corner is Ruben Labuskachny.
So Porous with a chance to add the extras and to make it 7-all. Cade Wool Eater, Grand Como last year, and he has a chance for his side. Wool Eater from the touchline, and it's over. Beautiful strike of the ball, Johan.
Yeah, awesome conversion there by Volita. And Porous tie up the game at 7 each. But still encouraging signs for the Lions. Good defense, they held Porous out for quite a while. And Van Schalkwyk will have the opportunity to restart the game. Had about 10.5 minutes of play and 7 points each.
Another great kickoff there. And Porous do well. That was a tough one to gather. Always when the kick is hanging, Buerta, and he fires it away. It's another big runner up the center of the field. This is good advancement here from Porous as they go right. Wool Eater, and there's a chance on the right, but they decide not to go for the offload. Just settling things down. Buerta around the fringes.
You got it out the tree.
Buerta waiting it once again for Porous.
Yeah.
It looks like there's going to be a pick and go. That man Mikado de Priya with yet another carry. He's been heavily involved this far and gaining great momentum for his side as Buerta scratches for the ball. Taken in by the number 7 flanker for Porous. Buerta once again. Mikado de Priya, yet another carry for the big lock forward. Gets up and goes again, not held in the tackle, says the referee. Great work by the Porous pack of forwards at this stage.
Buerta goes left. Wool Eater trying to sum up his options, gives it to Tion Pretorius, who normally plays on the left wing, playing an outside centre today. Buerta, and that's a knock on, and that's not like JJ Kotze at all. He was instrumental in Porous finishing 6th last year.
Yeah, not a great pass there by Buerta, and JJ Kotze unfortunately could not hold on to that one.
And Johan, the Lions, they'll be satisfied with these opening 12 minutes, but we have seen glimpses of Porous, and they do mean business.
Yeah, for sure, Justin. I think for the Lions, they just need to get some ball in hand again. They've been defending for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and especially when you're a side that's flung together, defense is not what you want to be doing. Defense takes great communication and players knowing each other well, so the ball in hand approach will be very important. As we see the number 13 making a mistake there, Mbata. Unfortunately, there was nothing wrong with that pass and just taking his eye off the ball. And the Lions will be under pressure again with Porous having a scrum feed on the 22 of the Lions.
Porous up next on Saturday at 2:45. They have Daniel Pinner, and then on the Monday they play Nelspruit at 4 o'clock. So big games ahead. And then for the Lions, they play St. Albans at 8:45 on Saturday morning. And then on Monday, they play the hosts at 11:30, St. John's. And Porous with Buerta with the feed. And they need a big scrum here. We're going to have a reset.
Just while we're waiting for the scrum to reset, Justin. I mean, what an awesome opportunity for the boys from the Lions. You know, they flanked together, like we said, from a few co-ed schools in Johannesburg, and by no stretch of the imagination would they have gotten the opportunity of playing somebody like Porous for their school. So it's a great initiative by the Lions Rugby Union and also by St John's for allowing them to play at the tournament, and a great opportunity for these guys to test themselves against a powerhouse like Porous.
And also, you never know where one of these players might end up.
Yet another tight head. Kotso won't be happy with that. And the Lions attacking down the short side out of their own 22. Pretty adventurous stuff, looking to run it. Big carry up by one of the forwards of the Lions, setting up second phase ball. Another carry by the forwards. Oh, but well met by the Porous defense. Just saying that you're not going to get to us around the fringes. We could pick up Van Schalkwyk, and also good clearance, but well covered by the fly-off Voliter. And he gets it out to that man that we spoke about, Remy Engelbrecht. He's got serious wheels and a great offload there to Croy. On the outside, it's the number 6 flanker.
Van der Walt, and the number 4, Jared Cairns, cruises over, and that was attacking rugby at its best. What a counter-attack, Johan.
Yeah, that was vintage Roos. You know, I said Van Schalkwyk got good distance on his clearance, but great cover by the fly-off Voliter. And Remy Engelbrecht, very instrumental in that try. We spoke about him, scored a brilliant try against Helpmekaar last year at the same tournament, and very instrumental in getting Roos into the lead. And the try scored by the big number 4, Jared Cairns, and Roos leading for the first time in this match.
So Voliter with a kick basically in the same position as last time, and if that's anything to go by, he should slot this ball straight through the uprights. And what a prospect he is.
Ominous signs here after 15 minutes in the game for the Lions. Let's see if Voliter can stretch the lead for Porous. This time he misses to the right of the uprights, and Porous leading after 15 minutes by 12 points to 7.
Porous have so much talent this year. Voliter at 10, but they also have the matric, Juan Mostert, who was great last year. So it'll be interesting to see how the coaching staff mixes the side this year. Van Schalkwyk with the kickoff. That's another great kickoff. Porous let it bounce, and the Lions gathered it back. That was Nkasi trying his best. And the number 9, Gowera, it's a turnover, and they've got the penalty, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
That was beautiful work by the scrum half of the Lions, just making sure he keeps that ball in. And taken quickly by the Lions. They're here to play some rugby, Justin. You see the ball spread out to Van Schalkwyk. Van Schalkwyk into the midfield, and yet another silly mistake by the number 12, Brian Mzamba this time. And Roos, another opportunity on the counter. It's Voliter to Labuskachny. Labuskachny out to Tian Pretorius. Is he going to go all the way? Beautiful defense by the number 13, Bongomenzi Mbata. As we see Botha once again waiting for it. He's getting it out to one of the forwards, carrying it up strongly for Roos. Now on the short side by Botha.
Can Porous finish up? They go right, simple stuff, but not so simple because they've lost the ball. You wouldn't expect that from Porous, but Johan, they look devastating on the counter. It has to be said.
Yeah, definitely Justin, a very dangerous side. Lots of pace in the backline and lots of skills, and that's what we come to know from Porous. Exciting backline players, and not scared to throw the ball around. So the Lions must be very, very wary of when they kick and where they kick the ball, and especially as well when they're on attack, they cannot allow Porous to win any turnover ball.
So Lions have been good at scrum time, especially on their defensive scrums.
The front row, Innocent and Kazi, Sean Goby and Vianna van der Westhuizen has acquainted themselves with the Porous front row in the first 15, and I must admit come out on top at this stage. JJ Kotze will not be very happy with the 2 tight heads he's already conceded in this match, the Porous hooker.
Guerra with the feed, but it's a penalty, and Porous will act quickly here. They're going through Buerta. Centimeters away here, the pick and drive by the number 5. Can they finish? So close now for their 3rd try of the game, and they've lost it. So perhaps a little bit panicky.
Yeah, that's classic white line fever, Justin. Twice now in the last 2 minutes. First Rema Engelbrecht in the corner, you know, with a sure thing with an open try line, and now one of the forwards. It's just that extra pick and go that they wanted to do. Sometimes if the first 2 doesn't go your way, you know, just get that ball out to the 9. So much space to the left for the back line, and yeah, just a bit of white line fever.
Crucial scrum, 5 meters out, and that's a great response from Porous, but the Lions still get it back, and that's a decent kick from the fly-off.
Yeah, I've been impressed thus far by Van Schalkwyk. He looks to be very calm under pressure, and looks to have a good boot, and he's got his side out of trouble a couple of times. So just need to make sure when he kicks out of hand in general play to find grass. But we see Kotze feeding the line out now here. Well taken in by Porous at the front of the line out. And now they're looking to spread it, but great defense from the Lions and in very quickly over the ball. Porous do secure, however, and it's Buerta waiting for it. Up to that man, Ricardo de Pria. He's got cans in support, the try scorer. Both these locks very busy from Porous. And then the big carry by number 7.
Johan Bova.
Great carry there. Kotze is who picks up now and straight through the middle. Like a German tank. He goes through there. To the blind side now, it's Porous. Looks like Voliter going on his own, and he's over. Well done by the fly half. Making sure that he gets over the line after a great carry up the middle by JJ Kotze. And that's better. Forwards and backs combining very well, Justin.
Fantastic finish by Voliter. He's not the biggest of players, 79 kilograms and 1.77 meters, but hats off to Kotze there. Massive effort. The Lions also doing everything in their power to try cut this lethal Porous attack down. And that is just beautiful stuff from the number 10. And he's showing that he can play at the top level. And he has a chance now to also add the extras. Johan, this first 20 minutes has flown by after an exciting start by the Lions.
It has, Justin, and Porous has gradually taken control, as you would expect them to do. Been impressed, like you said, by Voliter, how he's handling things, how he's controlling it. Did mention earlier, Johan Mostert still waiting in the wings. Most probably their first choice flyer for the year will be Mostert. But Voliter is definitely raising his hand and saying, you know, I'm an option. And as he comes forward, strikes it beautifully. And straight through the uprights. Porous 19, Lions 7.
At some stage in the season, we might also see Voliter playing at fullback. He can also ply his trade there with Mostert at fly-off. So it'll be interesting to see what the coaching staff do. Van Schalkwyk is going to get us underway again. Can the Lions get themselves back into the game? It's another quality kickoff and a tester for Porous. And this time they get it right. And Cairns, he looks like a class act. But it's a knock-on. And the Lions have a chance to launch an attack here, Johan.
It's just these little mistakes costing both sides. And just a little bit over ego on the side of Porous once again. Cairns, great take from the kickoff. Brilliant carry. Perhaps should have just gone to ground and not put the 50-50 pass out there. But this is a perfect attacking opportunity, Justin. Scrum in the middle of the field, 5 meters outside the 23. And there's nothing you would like more than an opportunity like this. See the back line split for the Lions. Got Van Schalkwyk and his centers to the left. And got the fullback in the right wing to the right. Big scrum by Porous as they attack against the wheel of the scrum. And the Lions looking to secure possession after a big scrum by Porous. Pick up by one of the forwards. And crashing it in there, but great defense by Ricardo de Pria and Tian Pretorius. Get the ball out now to Van Schalkwyk. Into the centers and carried up. But once again, the Porous defensive system just goes offside. In fact, the referee looks like he's coming back all the way to the scrum, and Porous was wheeling the scrum. You know, you got to earn the wheel. You got to move forward before you could wheel the scrum, and that was just wheeling straight from the start, and a decision time for the Lions.
It'll be interesting to see what they have up their sleeves here. And a shot at goal would crawl them slightly back.
I must say I like this. They obviously feel that they're still in this game. They're not chasing it yet, according to themselves. So that's a great sign and a positive sign to the Lions. If this penalty kick goes over, it will take the score to 19-10. It's only 9 points. Anything can still happen. And to me, that's actually a very good sign on the part of the Lions, Justin.
It was fascinating yesterday. We saw at the North-South Festival, Boland Landbou 22-0 up after about 20 minutes. And the final score was 26-25 to Monument. Could you actually believe that? Crazy stuff. As the fly-off for the Lions has a chance to make it a 9-point ball game here at St. John's. And he slots it.
Now that was a pure strike by Van Schalkwyk. I must say I'm very impressed with his kicking technique and his calmness, and he looks like a quality player. And it's Porous leading by 19 points to 10. Yeah, just getting back to that Monument Boland Landbou game, Justin, you were privileged enough to do commentary on that game, and you know, I angered the wife by staying late and watching that. And I must admit, Monument with a great comeback, and as we see the ball lost forward from the kickoff by Kwanele Notawe, and it's unfortunate and gives back possession to Porous. Just quickly getting back to that game, Justin, I think Boland Landbou had their chances to actually bury Monument when they were leading 22-0 up. They were on the attack again, and Monument absorbed that early pressure brilliantly and gradually got into the game. And then Boland Landbou had the opportunity right at the death again. And you've got to feel for the player who missed the penalty kick right at the death of the game. But Monument showing that they'll be somebody to reckon with this year as well.
Puerta at the back. Full eater again. Engelbrecht this time popping up in the center of the field. Porous in the golden zone again. Johan Bova. And that's a forward pass to Cairns. So the Lions staying in this game. You wouldn't expect that from Porous, a forward pass 5 meters out, and the Lions have a chance to breathe. I think if they can stay within 9 points at the break, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, and it's silly mistakes here by Porous. I mean, was about to mention Boa's name again. He's been instrumental, Cairns as well. And then Cairns just actually overrunning that pass a little bit, and Boa maybe a little bit late on the offload and the ball going forward. And silly stuff costing Porous points again. As we see Kotze just popping out there. He wasn't happy with the set there. And JJ Kotze also a big man in the middle of the scrum there for Porous. But it's been the front row of the Lions who surprised. And Kasi, Gobi and Van der Westhuizen really standing up to this much vaunted Porous pack.
But they need to deliver now. They need to get a good scrum here and try to clear their lines. Gowera feeds under pressure, and they go right. And Van Schalkwyk with the clearance, but it is not out. And here's Cade Croy. Now what can he do? And he finds Engelbrecht, the man with the jet shoes, across to Tian Pretorius, stepping on the inside. Good defense there by the Lions, trying to shut down this Porous counter-attack. And it's taking a while to come out there. And it's picked up again by Mercado de Preux, who's had an outstanding 30 minutes. And that was massive there. Puerta, and that's lost. Good defense there from the Lions, but silly knock-on.
Yeah, silly knock-on once again. Massive clean out at that rack, as we saw one of the Lions players flying out of that. I think the Lions is frustrating Porous at this stage. They're really in their faces in the defensive system. And Tian Pretorius perhaps could have let that one go on the right-hand side. But very, very impressed with the positional play of Remy Engelbrecht as well. The right wing, as that kick came in, he was falling back into the middle of the field, getting himself involved. And Porous definitely have a lot of ammunition on this side. But the Lions doing very well to stay in their faces. We see the Lions feeding the scrum. Van Schalkwyk to the left-hand side, getting it now. Putting the ball to boot and finding a bit of space, but well positioned is Croy. And also putting the ball to boot down the right-hand side of the touchline. And a great kick by Croy. Beautiful work by the fullback, the young fullback that played Grand Coma week last year. And also obviously a player to watch out for.
So line-out time for the Lions. There hasn't been many line-outs in this opening 30. So it'll be challenging for the Lions. Gobey will have to find his jumper, and it's been turned over. Mikado de Prier, and that's quick ball. The big number 8. Look at him go, Andre Smits. Good carry there. As Buerta is under pressure, that's good defense there by the Lions, just slowing things down. Kutsia finds Erbison, a little dummy from the loose head prop. Always good to see. And they pick up and go. Kutsia, he'll be difficult to stop from here. And he's got the score. That's a great run there by Kutsia.
Yeah, it's the second time he's had the pick and go. Made about 7-8 meters the first time and picked it up here with 5 to go. And they were never going to stop him. Good work, and it's interesting to see the forwards of Porous. You know, we've spoken so much about their back line today so far. Massive talent in the backs, but very, very impressed with this pack of forwards as well. Kotze, the 2 locks, Dupree and Cans. Bauer, the number 7 flank, as well as the 8th man, big boy Andre Smith. So great work by the pack of forwards.
No mistake from the young fly-off. And that is half-time. And after a surprising start, Johan, from the Lions, Porous showed what they can do, and they showed their character and their skill sets as well. And as a result, they're well ahead in this game.
Definitely, Justin. Leading comfortably at halftime. I still think their coaches might be a little bit unhappy as they head into the halftime chat. 30 minutes of rugby gone. Porous leading by 26 points to 10. Getting it together here to the end of the half. But I must say, been impressed by some of the individuals in the Lions side as well. They've definitely come here to compete. And in a massive, you know, playing a massive side like Porous. They haven't been daunted by the task and playing a really good game thus far.
And we've also seen 4 good tries, exciting tries through Labuskachny, Vulita, Cairns, and then Kutza. And then there was a try by the Lions in the opening 3 minutes by the left winger, Kwanele Notyawe. And we'll catch you in a few minutes to get the second half underway. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
When are you coming home, Dad?
Tomorrow.
You sound sad. Is it the race?
Yeah. I'm so sorry I didn't finish my angel.
Sometimes it's okay to quit.
No. Don't say that.
My name is Ntsikelelo. My friends call me Ntsiko. I live and go to school in the Tembelihle Township in New Brighton in the Eastern Cape. Life is rough and tough here, and hope is in short supply. Most people dream of their wishes becoming reality. Here, you dream to escape. And while some people speak about harsh realities of life, here in Tembelihle, we live them and get on with it. I've enjoyed playing sports since I was a small child. Rugby was my passion. And as for my dream, well, that was to play rugby for my country one day. But like I said, growing up here, you put your dreams aside and walk on. Then, I got my miracle. Spur decided to sponsor us in 2010. Since then, they provided us with kits, transport, accommodation, and meals, so we can compete with the best of them in any league, any tournament, anyway. Powered by Spur, our team won School Rugby Team of the Year in 2013. My teammates, my coach, the great people at Spur truly understand the meaning of Ubuntu. Now, when I'm on the field, playing rugby is my escape. Only this time, I'm escaping from playing small. I stand tall. I'm proud of Itembilise and having to walk these dusty streets. Now I dare to dream. And with Spur behind me, I now know dreams do come true.
Just make sure that they enjoy the pleasure.
I'm going to feel uncomfortable in the conversation. You can't be talking about underpants with me.
I'm busy talking about underwear with this lady.
You can't be talking underwears with me.
Yeah. I'm just telling her that if her girlfriend saw me in my cheap underwear, she won't really think much of me. Like the day I start buying expensive ones. One will be like, does your girlfriend know what I'm wearing?
That's why you're wearing
And why is it not straight? What's happening here?
It's because the ground is not straight.
No, not that.
Okay.
Referee Bjorn van Zyl has called the two teams to order for the second half. Porous announcing leading the home Lions 26 points to 10.
You do. Once you start running, you just...
So welcome back. We're almost ready for the second half to get underway. And we just want to thank Standard Bank for supporting School Sports Live and making this stream possible. You can watch this anywhere in the world, and it's really lovely to be able to do that. And it's going to be interesting to see if Porous do bring on their experienced players, and they do. It looks like Mostard's on. Now the number 22 kicking off the fly-off, so it'll be interesting to see. Also Regan van der Westhuizen and then the 21 jumpers on, and the Lions do well to regain the ball. And it'll be a testing second half for them. In the first half they have surprised many here, scoring that opening try, and this could be a disaster. It's play on. And Porous now with an opportunity to get their 5th try of the game. Brendon Fainter, Regan van der Westhuizen. He'll be difficult to stop, but that's great defense from the Lions. Yeah, they go again. Kutsa, Mostert, beautiful hands. And coming up with it is Cade Croy, the fullback, I think it is.
Yeah, a great start by Porous in the second half. Cade Croy has moved on to the right wing with Mostert actually playing at fullback, and you can see the impact made by Brendon Fainter and Regan van der Westhuizen, as well as Mostert with a final offload. And it looks like Porous has brought on the cavalry, Justin.
Certainly have indeed. Meaning business here in the second half, and it's their 5th try of the game. Beautiful hands. Kutsia letting it go, Mostert, and a nice finish there by Cade Croy, dotting down.
Yeah, it's also a big compliment to the Lions here, with Porous deciding at half-time to bring on the cavalry already. And an embarrassment of reaches for Porous this year. And as we see, Volito's remained on at fly-half, and Mostert actually taking the place of the fullback, Croy. Volito with a conversion attempt. Good strike. Oh, and he hits the uprights as well. Both the uprights have been hit in this match, with the Lions try coming from a missed penalty from Van Schalkwyk that hit the upright. And this time it was the turn of Porous fly-off Volita to hit the right-hand upright. And early in the second half, Porous takes control and leads the match by 31 points to 10.
Van Schalkwyk. His restarts have been superb, testing Porous. And that's greatly taken there from Porous. And what a run. This is barnstorming up the middle. A 25-meter carry there. And Porous are looking devastating. They've got numbers on the right. Brendon Fainter at first centre. And that's a phenomenal offload to Van der Westhuizen, who loses it forward. And Natjawe, the try scorer for the Lions, gathers that back, but we're coming back.
Yeah, that was
scrum.
An absolutely awesome carry from the kickoff. It looked like Herman Heinz for Porous with that carry. And beautiful work by Porous. But unfortunately, Regan van der Westhuizen just with a handling error. Big shuffle in the back line here for Porous. As now we see Mostert actually taking his place at fly off and Voliter moving back to 15. So they've just swapped around again. And it might have something to do with the defensive and attacking systems at this stage. But Mostert, Fainter and Van der Westhuizen at 10, 12 and 13 all played last year for Porous. As we see the Lions with a free kick and quickly taken
by Kowera there.
Have Porous retreated the 10 meters, the referee says plays on. And Porous with a turnover. Quick ball here for Porous as we see Voliter to Mostert. Fainter and Van der Westhuizen again cannot hold on to the ball. Looked very fluent until it got to Van der Westhuizen. With the Lions now with a chance to attack. Going down the blind side. Good work by the Lions on attack. And Porous has turned to defend. See the ball coming out once again to the backs of the Lions. Looking up to set up another phase. Oh, the big man with a carry in the midfield.
And Kazi, not afraid of the dogfights. And Kowera as well. He's been actually impressive. Look at this. There's a chance here on the right. A slip low. So losing a bit of momentum here, the Lions on their attack. And they find it through the number 4. Uwa. He's being hauled up in the tackle by Kutsia. And tremendous rip there. And Porous, will they launch an attack? Mikado de Prier having a blinder, but he's lost it forward.
Now that was unfortunate for the big lock forward of Porous, Mikado de Prier. He's been heavily involved in this match. Had a brilliant first half, both him and his lock partner Cans. And Porous, unfortunately, just making another mistake.
It's actually interesting, Johan. Regan van der Westhuizen normally plays on the wing, but he's popping up at centre here today, and I wonder if the coaching staff see centre as his future.
Now, Regan van der Westhuizen stockily built and very strong carrier. And I think he's definitely someone you can use in the midfield, depending on the situation and the game plan of the day. But definitely an option for Porous along with Brendon Fainter in the centres. As we see a tight head for Porous this time, picked up at the base. Boertak getting it out to Mostert. And now it's that man, Regan van der Westhuizen. Beautifully on the outside is Regan van der Westhuizen. And inside ball to, looks like Brendon Fainter that carried it up. Oh, this is great rugby by Porous now, gaining beautiful momentum. You see another strong carry, and that man, De Prier, once again. Beautiful angle by the lock forward and making yards for Porous. Mostert gets it out to Kotze, long ball by the hooker. And that's Tian Pretorius on the left wing now. Great carry by Pretorius, still going, and he's over. Beautiful work by Tian Pretorius. Lots of work left to do over there. And he gets over the line. Beautiful work, Porous. That was just great momentum build-up, Justin.
That was a terrific finish by Pretorius. And that shows why he was in the Grand Como side last year. And then also why he has made the Elite Player Development Squad. An exciting future ahead of the number 13, Pretorius. And Porous, well, from the 10th minute onwards, they've been clinical.
Yeah, they've been brilliant, especially the last 15 or 20 minutes. Gaining momentum, playing very direct rugby by the pack of forwards. And look at that ball by the hooker. Didn't go to hand, but as so many times the bouncing ball becomes a dangerous one. Look at the work Pretorius does. Beats the first defender, tackled, not held, gets back up, 2 guys on his back, and still gets over. Beautiful work, Tian Pretorius.
Hulita.
Van Schalkwyk getting the game restarted for the Lions. Beautiful take there by Porous. Worked out to Fainter. Fainter to Mostert. Regan van der Westhuizen. And now it's Croy. Inside ball and well controlled by Mostert in the end. Mostert working really hard. Staying on his feet quite a long time. Porous, great momentum gathered here. Carried up in the midfield, Porous looking to set up yet another phase. Totally in control of this match by this time, Porous.
Yeah, they go on the left, Regan van der Westhuizen and Spult there. Relief for the Lions. And my goodness, when they really get in the zone, Porous, they really get it together, but it was an unfortunate, unforced error there, Johan.
Yeah, just a little bit overexcited at this stage. But a great momentum in the second half by Porous, and showing us why they are touted as one of the big dogs in South African schoolboy rugby for this year. Like we mentioned, a lot of grade 11s that played in 2017 and also had a very, very powerful under 16 side. And this group looks to take Porous rugby to the next level.
And so far for Porous, it's been 6 of the best, scored 6 great tries after 38 minutes of rugby. And Correa feeds again to Van Schalkwyk. Has he found touch? Did pretty well there because that was great pressure from the flankers there, Johan, from Porous.
Yeah, and impressively he was forced onto his left foot there, and he actually looked very, very comfortable. Must admit, Van Schalkwyk in a losing side has really impressed me. As we see that man, Ricardo de Prio with a great take. Mostert, Brendon Fainter. Mostert with a loop around and beautiful work. John Mostert, can he go all the way? Yes, he can. Beautiful work by Mostert as he goes under the post, and 5 more points to Porous.
And that's what a good, exciting fly-up does. A little bit like Bowden Barrett there, 45 meters out, spotting the gap straight through. And I think the moment he saw that gap, he knew he was going to go all the way there, Johan.
Yeah, clean pair of heels shown off live. As we see Mostert here again. Fainter, Mostert on the runaround. Great timing of the pass by Brendon Fainter. And just a little bit of a show and go by John Mostert. And nobody was going to catch him from here. Beautiful work, Porous.
And the conversion there as well. 43 points now for the score for Porous. Conversion again by Brendon Swats.
Another good kickoff there from Van Schalkwyk, and Porous not playing around. And look at this tremendous run. Players on the outside. Regan van der Westhuizen will be difficult to stop. They managed to bring him down. Good defense there by the Lions. As Porous are on search of their 8th try here. On the switch to Volita. And for his size, he does tremendously well. Good power by the fullback slash fly off. And look at this. There could be an 8th try coming up. Pretorius at the base. Fires it away. Kutsia, or Kutsa should I say, has a double.
Yeah, great work by Kutsa. Second try of the match. Good build up by Porous. Nice and patient. Going through the phases. And at the end, the Lions just running out of defenders. Porous playing some magic rugby in the second half. And a very, very impressive, it must be said, as Volita will have another chance to add the extras as we see the ball coming out. The Mostert again instrumental with a great long pass to Kotze, and with the player on his back, Kotze just far too strong, and he goes over, and beautiful work, Porous. And with a conversion to come, Volita can raise the 50-point barrier for Porous, and a half century with still 18 minutes to go. It's pretty ominous.
Can Volita make this 50. With plenty of time for more tries in this fixture. Sweet as you like. Great strike with the ball by Boris.
Now, beautiful work by the fly-off right from the touchline, 5 meters in. And he adds the extras for Porous, and that's 50 up. Bit of a raise of the bat with still 18 minutes to go. Coincidentally with me saying raise of the bat, news just in. Sorry for the rugby fans. Darren Lehman has decided to quit as Australian cricket coach. And that news we've just received. Long kick in by Van Skalkwyk. Porous allowing the ball to bounce. And well fielded, it looks like, is that the man Pretorius again. Beautiful carry up. As the ball is spread now to Mostert. Porous looking fuller running at this stage. And getting the penalty as well for the Lions going offside. Too eager to close all the gaps that's opening up, and just doing it so illegally. And that gives Porous the chance to get into the Lions territory once more.
Great touch finder there. And the pressure will really be on, and this is going to test the Lions' character. It's a good 16 minutes to go. As we just break for a stoppage, one of their players lost their boots. I think it's the hooker, Kobe.
One of the most impressive things thus far for me, Justin, is the versatility of the Porous backs. As we see Gerard Klute at this stage, who started the game on the left wing, playing as the scrum half at this stage. We've got Pretorius, who started on the centre, playing in the wing. We've got Mostert able to play 10 and 15. We've got Volita able to play 10 and 15. And that bodes well for a long upcoming season. As we see a big carry up in the midfield.
Brendon Fainter advancing the line, and this could well be another try. The 9th of the game, Sharink. 5 meters out in the golden zone yet again. Pretorius. Here we go for Mostert, wants a double. And he gets it. Second try of the game. 2 tries in the second half for Mostert. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, great work by Juan Mostert. He's made a big impact since he's been on the field. And he's definitely showing why he's probably the first choice pivot for Porous in this season coming up. And great work there once again by Porous. As we see the ball coming out here, 5 meters out, straight into the hands of Mostert. And he says, I'll do this one on my own, boys. And a little bit of a show and go. Big and quick, and he's over the line for 5.
Well, it seems like this mix of grade 11s and matrics is proving to be devastating. And if this is anything to go by, a few of the top schools in the countries have to watch out, Johan.
Most definitely. Porous is traditionally there and thereabout when it comes to schoolboy rugby in South Africa. But this is a much touted side and a much vaunted side, and looking really good on the first day of the St. John's Festival. Very long season ahead, and maybe we shouldn't read too much into this. But like you said, Justin, the combination starting to work really well. And 57 points to 10 with still about 14 minutes to go in this match. Things are really looking ominous now for the Lions.
Well, Porous definitely showing that they have what it takes to maybe beat Pole Boys this year, who have been unbeaten in the country since August 2014. And look at this team go. They're a well-drilled machine, and Van der Westhuizen beats the first defender. But good second attempt at the tackle there, and he's still going. Can you believe it? This man is half man and half machine, and there's players on the left. Mostert,
that man
again, and he's going for a hat-trick here, and fires it away to Pretorius. Great stuff. They are just sublime at the moment, Johan.
Yeah, Regan van der Westhuizen with a great break out of his own half, getting up after not being held in the tackle, and that just gave Porous all the momentum. got the ball out pretty quickly. It's interesting to see how quickly they get the ball to Kotze when he's out wide, and he carries incredibly strongly. As we see Cans there looping around again is Mostert. Long pass out to Kotze, and Kotze showing some great strength in the tackle, bursting through and then bursting through. Another tackle, getting it out to Pretorius, and a beautiful finishing off by the left winger. Started the match at centre, now playing in the left wing. And a great work for Porous Gymnasium.
I'm getting a pizza for
Leading now by 62 points to 10.
I'm gonna get a pizza for 36 rand, dog.
Full eater. An opportunity to add some more points. And it's unfortunate for the Lions, Jan, because they have really given it their all here today. They've just come up against a phenomenal Porous side. And the scoreline doesn't reflect their effort.
Like you said, you can see Porous is getting the cohesion going. And it was always going to be difficult for an invitational side playing against a well-drilled machine like the Maroon machine from Porous. And another great conversion, as we see just a change of a jersey there for Volita, but another great conversion. And the lead goes up to 54 points, 64 points to 10. And let's hope the Lions don't unravel completely in this last 12 minutes.
Brendon Swats on now.
Great hanging kickoff there once again by Van Schalkwyk. But a great take by Porous and busting straight up the middle. It looks like
Quibus Tub.
Tub doing some yeoman work there from the kickoff, but then unfortunately the ball being lost forward by Porous. But it's the second or third time that straight from the kickoff, unfortunately, the Lions' defense just falling apart at this stage. And we've seen great runs by Herman Hines, Quibus Tub, straight from the kickoffs now again. And the Lions will have to really work hard to stay in the game this last 12 minutes and make sure that Porous doesn't reach a century here.
Well, that would be pretty remarkable, Johan. 36 points in 10 minutes. Anything can happen, but let's see if the Lions can produce some magic from inside their half. That's a big scrum from Porous, but they still managed to get it back. Swats fires it away to Van Schalkwyk. And a nippy player on the right there, trying to break the first tackle. And there might be a turnover here. There is, and it's picked up by Pretorius. Gee-Whiz, he's been everywhere. He's having a field day out there. And Porous now in search of yet another try to go into the 70s here in their first game. Mostert, Fainter, can he get the pass away? He does, and this could be terrific. It's going to be interesting, and that's good defense. Out of play there.
Brilliant work there by Brendon Fainter, getting on the outside of his defender, and the referee has actually just allowed the try. It looked... No, it's a penalty to Porous. Try was not allowed, but brilliant work, like I said, by Brendon Fainter, getting on the outside of his man and getting the little cheeky offload out to, I think it's Volita playing in the number 22 jumper now after the change of jerseys, just after his last kick. And Porous Gymnasium leading by 64 points to 10. They've now got a line out, just 5 out.
This is going to be difficult to stop, Johan. Somehow the Lions do really well to get that to ground, but you can't help but feel that this is going to be another score and take them into the 70s. Good pop there by Kutza, and who's coming up with it? You're going to have to wait and see. It looks like the big number 4, Jared Cairns, and this would be his second try of the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Cairns, and that was just too easy once again, Justin. Kotze just basically getting up at the back of the ruck, giving a pop to Cairns, and the defense just disintegrating. And at this stage, lots of courage required by the Lions to make sure that this does not get ugly on the scoreboard, with Volita once again lining up a conversion to take Porous into the 70s. As we see the replay here, great work to defend the maul originally from the Lions. As we see Kotze at the back of the ruck. He'll get the ball now, and he just pops it up.
Go.
Just pops it up to that man Cairns. And straight over, too easy.
So if I do this.
And Paul Roos with a conversion to come might go into the 70s.
69 plays 10. And now it is 71 plays 10.
Very impressive kicking performance as well by Volita, Justin. And you've still got to slot those conversions, even though you're leading. It's a way to build the momentum for a kicker as well.
Yo, if they get 100,
really good.
if they get 100,
I guess that might be one of the reasons why he did not leave the field at halftime, because he is their preferred goal kicker, and it's looking really good for him at this stage. Good take from the kickoff by that man, Mikado de Pria, but obstruction. They just created a little bit of a wall for the ball catcher, and the Lions have got a chance to get into the 22 of Paul Roos for the first time. It seems like in an eternity, Justin.
Indeed. Can they get their second try of the game and just get some momentum for them going into the game on Saturday? 6 minutes to go. It's number 16, Kumalo, on the field. Can he find his jumper? Scrappy line out there, and the Lions will have a scrum.
Now
Can they get over the chalk here, Johan?
That was pretty lucky there for the Lions, throwing straight over the top, and Paul Roos managing to lose that ball forward. Justin, they've got to get over the line at this stage. They've got to get something out of this game, like you said. And it's very important for them to get something going from the scrum. Just a bit more than 6 minutes to go in this match. And Paul Roos running out very, very comfortable victors already. It's just a question of what the final score will be.
Gowera with the feed.
Straight out the side.
So will they tap and go? Yeah, Gowera wastes no time. On the right to Kumalo. The reserve hooker on the field, and it's been turned here by Porous. Great work on the ground at ruck time from the maroon machine as they carry it up through Sharink. Had a great 2017 season. Mink Sharink, the lock forward. Klutter fires it away to Mostert. Fainter, and here's a big chance for Engelbrecht. Regan van der Westhuizen. Full eater, and that's out on the full. A pity there. You can see what he was trying to do, though.
Yeah, the idea was 100% there from Volita. Unfortunately, the execution just went wanting just a little bit, but this will take some stopping from the Lions, as we see comment from Zimbabwe that the Paul Roos versus Paul match this year will be epic, and I'll have to agree with him. And I've got a funny feeling that the match between Paul Boyzai and Boland Landbou will also be epic this year, especially if Paul Boys have to travel to the farm there of Boland Landbou, as we see the Lions winning a possession out of the line out. A long pass by from Skalkwyk, and a great defense by Regan van der Westhuizen with a spot tackle there on the outside, and a Paul Roos with a big counteract, but the Lions managing to hold on.
Good run there by Troy Griffin. And that's going to be a turnover. And yeah, they come through Pretorius at ruck time. And that's another opportunity now for this Porous side to get yet another score. This is great play.
Looks like Quibus Tub.
He's been great since he's come on. Can they finish here? Brendon Fainter in an unusual position. They got loads of players on the left. Porous. And there's another try. Who is coming up with it? Mikado de Pria, and he deserves it. He has been everywhere today.
Yeah, beautiful work by Mikado de Pria. As we just heard the hoot as well, I think the hoot is coming just a little bit early to maybe end the misery of the Lions. Their second half performance has unfortunately been very poor, Justin. As we look at the replay, Quibus Tub once again with a great carry. He's been instrumental since he's been on the field. Stepping his way between quite a few players, big and strong, as we see Buerta, who's back on the field, having a little snipe the scrum off, and eventually Mikado de Pria scores his second try of the game, and a beautiful performance by Paul Roos, especially in the second half.
It's the class of 76 for Porous Gymnasium as
So final score 78 points to 10. And Porous, well, it's only their second game of the season after the game against Swats where they scored 101 points. Now they have scored 78, just shy of 200 points already. But Johan, it's going to get more tough for them.
Yeah, it's been a special performance, like I said, especially in the second half. Great to see the skills and the power on display from the Porous, or the Maroon Machine, like they are affectionately known. And I'm looking forward to a really exciting year from them, Justin. And like you said, it's going to get a lot tougher for them. They'll still have to play the likes of Boys Eye, Uffies, great college, but definitely one of the sides to watch in South Africa this year. And thank you very much for joining us. It was the second game of the first day of the St. John's Easter Festival. And Justin, like always, a pleasure doing the game with you. And enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thanks, Johan. And next up is Daniel Pinter taking on Florida. Final score there, 78 points to Porous, 10 to the Lions.